You want to be able to turn invisible so you can infiltrate an enemy base, looking for the perfect position where you can ambush your prey, to then teleport to the high ground and strike your enemies multiple times, all in one turn. Then the Gloomstalker subclass for the Ranger might be the subclass for you. Hey guys, Omaha here, and today I'm going over the Gloomstalker subclass for the Ranger, and I'm going to show you every ability and spell you get for levels 1 through 12. Rangers are unrivaled scouts and trackers, honing a deep connection with nature in order to hunt their favored prey. So as a Ranger, you'll get weapon proficiencies in simple weapons and martial weapons, which adds your proficiency bonus to attack rolls, making it easier to hit. And then for armor, you got light armor, medium armor, and shields. So wearing those armor types is not going to impose a disadvantage on your attack rolls or prevent you from casting spells. You'll then select your favorite enemy, and you have 5 different options. You can choose Bounty Hunter. You gain proficiency in investigation. Creatures you hit with ensnaring strike, either ranged or melee, have disadvantage on their saving throw. Then there's Keeper of the Veil. You specialize in hunting creatures from other planes of existence. You gain proficiency in Arcana and can cast protection from evil and good. Then there's Mage Breaker. You have a history of battling spellcasters. You gain proficiency in Arcana and can cast True Strike. Then you have Ranger Knight. You have sworn to serve a crown or nation and seek to bring its foes to ruin. Gain skill proficiency in history and armor proficiency with heavy armor. Then there's Sanctified Stalker. You swore to hunt the enemies of a holy or druidic order. You gain proficiency in religion and you can cast Sacred Flame. You'll then choose your Natural or Explorer, and again you have 5 options. First would be Beast Tamer. So you have cultivated a strong bond with animals. You can cast Find Familiar without expending a spell slot. Then there's Urban Tracker, an expert at navigating the wild within the city. You gain proficiency in Sleight of Hand. Wasteland Wanderer Cold. You spent endless days surviving desolate tundras. You get resistance to cold damage. So you're only going to take half damage from cold. Then there's Wasteland Wanderer Fire. That'll give you resistance to fire damage, so half from fire. And then Wasteland Wanderer Poison. So you're going to get resistance to poison. You'll then choose your ability points. And keep in mind, dexterity is usually your most important for the Ranger class. It's going to affect your effectiveness with ranged and finesse weapons, and it's also going to affect your initiative and armor class. You're then going to choose your skill proficiencies, and you're going to be able to choose 3 from Aesthetics, Investigation, Nature, Animal Handling, Insight, Perception, Sleight of Hand, Stealth, and Survival. All right, once you hit level 2, you're going to get your first health increase, your first 2 level 1 spell slots, and you're going to be able to choose 2 spells from Animal Friendship, Cure Wounds, Ensnaring Strike, Fog Cloud, Good Berry, Hail of Thorns, Hunter's Mark, Enhanced Leap, Long Strider, and Speak with Animals. And then you'll be able to choose your fighting style. So you can adopt a particular style of fighting as your specialty. There's Archery, where you get a +2 bonus to ranged weapon attacks. Defense, where you get a +1 bonus to armor class while wearing armor. Dueling, so when you are wielding a melee weapon that is not two-handed or versatile in one hand and no weapon in the other, you get an additional 2 damage with that weapon. And you can carry a shield in your free hand and still gain this bonus. And then there's 2 weapon fighting. So when you make an attack with your offhand weapon, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the attack. All right, moving on to level 3, you're going to get another health increase, your 3rd level 1 spell slot. You're going to be able to choose another spell from the level 1 list, and then you'll choose your subclass. And so for the video, I'm choosing Gloomstalker. Emerging like a horrible gift from the envelope of darkness and shadow, you ambush and put down your foes before they can even scream. This is going to grant you 2 subclass features to start with. Dread Ambusher. So you specialize in taking out foes swiftly and ruthlessly. You get a +3 bonus to initiative, so that's going to help you start your turn earlier on than enemies. On the first turn of combat, your movement speed increases by 10 feet, and you can make an attack that deals an additional 1 to 8 damage. All right, so for Dread Ambusher, I got initiative of 9. Normally it would be 6, and I got the +3, which gave me 9. So I rolled higher than all of them, so I can go first. On the first turn of combat, you'll get those 2 actions, Dread Ambusher Melee. So that'll take my 1 to 4 +3 from my normal dagger that I have over here, and it'll add 1 to 8, which gives me 5 to 15. So here's what that's going to look like. Then for my Dread Ambusher range, it's going to take my 4 to 9 damage from my bow, and add the 1 to 8, which gives me 5 to 17. And one thing to note here for Dread Ambusher is both of these variants of Dread Ambusher don't use an action or a bonus action. So you can use this, and then you can make another action on the same turn. And then you'll also be granted superior dark vision, so you can see in the dark up to 80 feet. You'll also be granted 2 actions, Dread Ambusher Hide. So hide from enemies by succeeding stealth checks. Stick to the dark and avoid enemy sightlines. Attacking or casting a spell will reveal your location. It's actually the same thing as the hide action, except it's gonna use a bonus action instead, so I'll use that. Hiding successful. This little sun icon, that means I'm lightly obscured. So hiding in a lightly obscured area has to make a stealth check when caught. And then if I highlight the sunny area over here, you're not obscured at all there, so you're a lot easier to see. If I go back into his cone of vision, still hasn't detected me. And since I'm hidden, I get advantage on my first attack. So it's gonna roll 2 dice and use the higher value. So it's gonna give you a lot higher chance of hitting him. And then another thing with hiding, it's gonna leave a ghost behind. They're gonna try to like investigate that area to see if I'm still there because they think I'm there. And then there's Umbral Shroud. Wrap yourself in shadows to become invisible if you are obscured. And that'll be for 10 turns. So the invisibility will end if you attack, cast another spell, take an action, or take damage. All right, here's Umbral Shroud when I'm already in combat. So I'll pop that. It's kind of like hiding. He still thinks I'm in that location right there. Gives me a chance to move around. And then I can use a stealth attack on him, which gives me advantage. I can kind of like sneak around in their vision cones pretty well. So I'm like right up next to them. And also doing that gives them the surprised effect, which makes them skip their first turn. So it actually combines pretty well with Dread Ambusher, because then you can just do like another attack like this, critically miss, don't do that. And then you can do another action in that turn. And then the subclass is also going to grant you the spell Disguise Self, so you can magically change all aspects of your appearance. Basically, you can choose any race, any gender, and you can change into them. So you can commit crimes in the other form, and then when you're out of vision from them, switch back to this, then they won't know it was you. And then finally for level 3, you can replace a spell, since you're limited on how many spells you can have at one time. All right, with that, we'll move on to level 4. So you're gonna get another health increase. You can replace another spell, and then you're gonna choose your first feat. So a couple that I recommend, ability improvement, I always recommend getting your dexterity as high as possible is gonna help you out a lot with bow attacks and finesse weapons. If you decide to go a melee route with the Gloomstalker, Savage Attacker is amazing. It's going to roll your damage dice twice and use the highest result. And then Sharpshooter I actually really like as well. So what that's going to do is you're not going to get penalties from the high ground rules. So when you're attacking from below, you normally have a penalty, but you won't get that anymore. And then also, if you're proficient with the weapon, which you are because it's a bow, you're going to have a -5 penalty to your attack roll. So it's going to make it harder to hit. But if you chose the Archer bonus in the beginning, which gives you +2, that'll only be -3. So that's not too bad. And then you'll deal an additional 10 damage. So you can actually toggle this on or off. And then also Alert. I really like Alert because you get +5 to initiative. And since you're already getting extra initiative from your Ambusher ability, you're pretty much going to go first like almost every time, especially if your dexterity is higher, which it should be. And then you're not going to be able to be surprised. So like when I surprise the skeletons, they missed their first turn. So if somebody pops out that's invisible, surprises you, it's not going to matter. You're not going to miss out on your first turn, which is also going to help you because you're going to be able to use your Ambusher ability. Once you hit level 5, you're going to get your 4th and final level 1 spell slot, your first 2 level 2 spell slots, and you're going to get the class feature Extra Attack. So now you can make an additional free attack after making an unarmed or a weapon attack. Basically, this lets you attack an additional time per turn. You're then going to gain another spell, and now you have level 2 spells, Bark Skin, Dark Vision, Lesser Restoration, Pass Without Trace, Protection from Poison, Silence, and Spike Growth. And since you're Gloomstalker, you're going to get Misty Step, Always Prepared. So it's not going to count against your maximum spells. You don't have to replace it. So here's the range. Basically, you can just use a bonus action to teleport around. Like if you want to get up to the high ground and get advantage on your ranged attacks, it's really good for that. And then finally, you have an option to replace a spell. All right, once you get to level 6, your health's going to go up again, and you'll get another favorite enemy passive. So from those original 5, you can choose a second one now. And then you'll be able to choose another Natural Explorer passive. Same 5 that were there earlier. And then finally, you can replace another spell. Level 7, you'll get that health bump, your 3rd level 2 spell slot. You can choose another spell from the first 2 levels, and you'll get the subclass feature Iron Mind. So you have owned your ability to resist the mind-altering powers of your prey. You're going to get proficiency in Wisdom and Intelligence saving throws. So any spell that uses a Wisdom or Intelligence saving throw, you're going to have a higher chance of avoiding that spell. And then you'll have the option to replace a spell again. Moving on to level 8, you're going to get another health increase, and you're going to get the class feature Landstride Difficult Terrain. So you've become an expert at moving through the wilderness. Difficult terrain no longer slows you down. So if you see here, I'm trying to move through these webs. These are going to half my movement speed. Moving through them, you move a lot slower. And then once you're in combat, it's just going to use up a lot more of your movement. So you're not going to be able to move nearly as far. So once I have Landstride, it's not going to slow me down at all. I can just go right through it. You'll get the option to replace a spell, and then you can choose your second feat. Level 9, your health's going to go up yet again. You'll get your first 2 level 3 spell slots, and then that's where you can choose another spell. And now you have level 3 spells, Conjure Barrage, Daylight, Lightning Arrow, Plant Growth, and Protection from Energy. And then you'll also get the spell Fear, which is always prepared for you. Targets drop everything and become fearful. They have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls, so they're not going to be able to hit you as well. If the target ends their turn where they can't see you, they can make another saving throw to shake off their fears. So you always want to keep kind of line of sight with them so that they don't keep rolling saving throws and get out of it. It's actually going to last 2 turns, and it's actually going to disarm them for 1 turn as well. And then this is also a concentration spell. So now I'm in combat, surrounded by enemies. I can use Fear. Use on these 2 guys. So they both got affected by fear. They both dropped their weapon, and they're going to run away from me for 2 turns. And that's all they're going to be able to do. And one nice thing about them dropping their weapons is I can just go up and grab them from them. So they have nothing to come back to. So basically they're unarmed. So I'll just take this one, guys, and then I'll end my turn. We'll just keep running away. And then finally, you'll have the option to replace a spell. Level 10, you're actually going to get quite a bit. You're going to get your health bump again. You'll get the action Hide in Plain Sight. You can camouflage yourself with your environment to become invisible, and you get a +10 bonus to stealth checks as long as you stand still. That'll last until a long rest. And then it says invisibility ends early if you move, attack, cast another spell, take an action, or take damage. So with this one, the main difference between it and Umbral Shroud is Umbral Shroud you can actually move around. This one, you have to stand still. If you move, it's gonna end the invisibility, but you're also getting a +10 bonus to stealth checks. You'll then choose your third favorite enemy and then your third natural explorer, which is kind of crazy because you can actually become resistant to fire, poison, and cold damage. And then you'll be able to replace a spell. Boom, we're on level 11. You're gonna get your health increase again. You'll get your third level 3 spell slot. Then you can choose another spell from the first 3 levels. You'll get the subclass feature Stalker's Flurry. You're swift enough to turn a miss into a new strike. When you miss with a weapon attack, you can make another weapon attack for free. If I attack this guy and miss, and miss, and miss. Okay. If I attack this guy and I miss. Okay, seriously. Yes. It'll give me an extra attack. Doesn't use an action or a bonus action. It can be a melee attack too if you want. Also works with Dread Ambusher, so if I miss with that, it'll give me another attack. So there's my Dread Ambusher. That was my second attack. And then you'll be able to replace a spell. And finally, once you get level 12, you're going to get another health increase, your 4th level 3 spell slot. You can replace a spell, and then you'll choose your 3rd and final feat. All right, guys, and that's going to wrap it up for the Gloomstalker Ranger subclass. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It helps me out quite a bit. It'll spread the video out so more people can see it. And don't forget to subscribe if you guys want to see more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.